Okay, so as I've told you many times in the last week or so, got that walnut tree over there that I want to get down. Well, yesterday I received that rope saw. It's like a chainsaw, but it doesn't go in a loop. It's just one long chain that has teeth on it and a rope. So I received that yesterday. So we're gonna check out the components, figure out how to assemble this thing, and I'm gonna see if we can start knocking down this tree. Okay, this isn't terribly complicated. I tried the carabiner on it, and because I would like that idea a little bit better, but that doesn't fit in there. So I guess that's for the handles down here. So I used the S hook. So I put the S hook in the hole of the chain, and then I just made a simple square knot. Square knot's a right over left, left over right. It's the only knot I ever learned in the Navy. And then I took the other S hook side and I kind of squeezed it just a little bit, just so it wouldn't pop out of there. I mean, I could still get it out, but I didn't want it just to fall out. So then I'll do the other side. This time I'll do it a little bit on camera now that I know what I'm doing. So I just little S hook. It took a little bit to get in there, which is good because that won't fall out. And then again, made a square knot. It's just right over left, left over right, and hope for the best. Pair of pliers. Good. What was interesting about this chain, it's not like a regular chainsaw. It's kind of like a regular chainsaw, but with the chainsaw, one side is the blade runs in the bar, the rail of the bar. Well, both sides have sharp blades on it. Okay, so we're going to climb this ladder, and we're going to put the rope up over that lowest limb. So there's 3 limbs that I want to take care of. We're going to put it over this one. But I'm sitting here looking at my ladder, and I'm beginning to realize I don't know if I can get up to that top limb. So I might have to use that thing to throw it over anyways. Might end up getting on top of the camper here and just chuck it over. Might be easier. My dad texted me yesterday, said he had 50 guys, that's probably an exaggeration, telling them how to do it, how to get that rope over. I can imagine everybody's got an idea until they actually had to put it in place or pay for it. Yeah, I'm definitely not tall enough to reach up there. So now I think you can see this. We'll run it over. Okay, now I want to make sure there's no kinks in the saw. Come back down and I'll test it before I put the handles on the rope. Guess it doesn't matter. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stand roughly right here, and if it starts to come down, then I can run up this direction away from it, and I should be able to get out of its way pretty quickly. And if it doesn't cut all the way through and it comes down and hangs, I can grab a chainsaw and just cut it. While I'm standing on the ground, I don't have to get up in the ladder. So let's see how terrible. Oh, that's not bad at all. Okay, I'll get the handles on it. Okay, right off the bat I noticed that it's better just to kind of go slow. Take your time, and if it gets jammed up, stop, think about what you're doing, and then go the opposite direction. Because if you're on the downstroke and you're sitting there and you're trying to fight it, just pull back a little bit and go the other way. It's finally gotten jammed up, and I realize my mistake now. I think I can correct it. So I've climbed up there, and I was going to drive a wedge in the gap, you know, what I've already cut, to kind of wedge it out. That way I can continue on. But I can't reach, it's just too high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a rope up over this end and pull it down. I think I'm cut through enough that the leverage will break that extra little wedge there. But my mistake is I'm not underneath the limb. I think the limb's got to fall straight down, and I'm on a significant angle away from its gravity falling point. So I'm going to get that rope up there and see if we can tug that down. Oh, I forgot to turn the camera on, didn't think about it. I got so excited. I got the rope up there and I tugged it a little bit and it went crack. And I thought, hey, this is gonna work. So I ran up the hill with the rope and tugged it a few more times and it popped down. So all you get to see is the aftermath of it, but it did work. So the chainsaw is still hanging in there. I think I can get it out. I just gotta get back up in the ladder and get it out. And then I got the two other limbs. But I did learn a valuable lesson. So if your limb's hanging like this, you want to make sure that you're underneath the fingers, away from my fingers, but that direction. You don't want to be that direction. But that's fine with these two. I have no choice but to be underneath them. And now I know that it kind of falls down pretty slow. So I'll be out of the way in time. Okay, so I got the first limb mostly cleaned up, and then I came down here and I got the second limb. I didn't think it was any reason for me to show you how to saw it. This one went pretty smooth, actually. I mean, it got jammed up a little bit, and what I would do is I take one rope and I had to run it, let's say it was the left side, I'd run it down the left a little bit and give it a yank, and then come over to get the right rope, take it over to the right a little bit, give it a yank, and it would free up. Another thing I noticed is take small strokes, because if it gets jammed up and you got your chain all the way into the tree, you won't be able to unjam it. So you won't be able to pull, and if you try to unjam it, you're going to get it jammed worse. So small strokes, and instead of using your elbows to pull back and forth, use your body. Twist your body. Your heart rate goes up, but you get less tired. So this one went down pretty good. It hit the chicken coop just a little bit, but it didn't damage chicken coop at all. Now, yesterday I made a video and I was trying to repair a chainsaw, and I bought a ignition coil. I've been calling it a stator, it's an ignition coil, and the new ignition coil was bad. So I got the old chainsaw out, which has like hardly any hours on it, and the only thing that keeps happening to it is the gasoline keeps messing up the rubber hoses and stuff, the gas lines. So you saw me running the chainsaw, but I tried to start it back up and the priming ball formed a hole. So I went to take the priming ball out. You might be able to see I'm lifting it up, and the hose broke. In a day or two, I'm going to repair this saw. I have another priming ball, I have more hoses, I just got to disassemble it. Taking the priming ball out wasn't hard at all. I put it back together, but the thing that was going to be hard is I got to take the carburetor out and all that stuff to get the hose out. So I figured I'll just make that a project. We can do it on video. So I'm going to quit for the day until I get that chainsaw repaired. And then this last limb, it's I think I'm gonna bring it this way, but I'm so worried about the well. If I stand right here at the edge of the well, it's gonna clip it. But I don't think it's gonna clip it too bad. Like I said, this one hit the chicken coop and didn't hurt it at all. It breaks the well housing a little bit, it's not a big deal, but I don't want it to break the actual well part. So I'll probably cut down here a little bit to try to get it to come this direction down towards the camper. Then I can cut the rest of it down with the chainsaw. But this next one I'm going to cut a little bit lower so I can reach it. The last branches were too high, but if I well, maybe I'll come over here, because so that branch right there, that's how low I'll cut this big branch. And that way, if the chain gets jammed up, I can take one of those orange wedges and try to wedge it in there. That way I can lift the branch up off the chain if it, sinks down on top of it. The other thing Carolyn noticed today is, with this one being such a straight up branch, it's a little breezy. We don't want the breeze to take it in a direction we don't want it to go, so we're just going to take a break on this. So I'm a little bit happier. Definitely got the limbs away from the power line. I even contemplating leaving the tree here, but the thing is when I'm 70 years old, I don't want to have to come back out here and mess with this tree if it starts to grow into the branches or anything. So just will get it while I can. Now, as far as the rope chain saw thing, would I recommend it? Well, if you have a safe way that is easier, I would go and try to find the safe way that is easier. But as far as this, it's the safest method I can find. getting up there on the ladder is not safe. Getting up in the branches is not safe. It only takes a fraction of a second before you mess something up. And not only do you have to worry about climbing around in a tree branch and falling, you have to worry about that chainsaw clipping you. It doesn't take much to clip you. It may not cut your leg off, but cut a major artery or something, and you're done. But it is a little bit of a challenge. Climbing up and down the ladder or throwing the rope over, it's a challenge. So if you click this up next box to take you a video where I was working on that chainsaw. So if I can inspire you to think it through so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.